What was the understanding you had?
I'm pretty sure we can't hear anything. Yeah, is there any difference in hearing anything? That's what she's be doing that for minutes. I think it'll pick up everything so we get that canvas. Oh yeah, I'm gonna press it for her. Is that where it was?
They gotta do. They gotta do.
President Intern,
Here.
Vice President Jimmy Arwood,
Here.
Vice President Intern, here, Chief Staff, here, Director of Public Relations, Director of Finance, here, Director of Administration, here, Director of Marketing, here, Director of State and Municipal Affairs,
Here.
Director of Local Affairs, here, Senator Hurst, here, Senator Smith,
Here.
Senator Cordova,
Here.
Senator Hernandez,
Here.
Senator Robinson, here, Senator Legere,
Here.
Now we're going to move on to the approval of the meeting minutes. Go through the last meeting. Actually, we're good. Okay. Is there a motion to approve the agenda from last? Approval of, sorry. Is there a motion to approve the agenda for this meeting?
Motion to approve today's meeting with
For this meeting, yeah.
So I moved to amend this meeting minute to, add for USGD position conversations.
We're at approval of the agenda. Yes.
So amending to read under USGD position confirmations, letter C, C is Senator Laura Rodella.
What? So you want to read it?
Yeah, exactly.
So you already had a second on the floor for the case.
Of last week.
Yeah. There was a motion, the motion is already, the motion is already second.
So,
Yeah, okay.
Okay, is there a motion to vote on?
Now, here's the thing, before you want to start that process, if you want to shoot that down, because you kind of jumped in.
Yeah.
You want to shoot that down and just don't vote on it, because that's, say anything.
yeah. Okay.
That makes sense?
So, vote, but everyone voted no on it?
You can approve it because it's last week's minutes. We just said they go back.
Yeah.
Oh.
That makes sense now?
Because the vote can't was incorrect. Okay. So,
So,
I move to vote on.
Oh, we have to vote now.
Second's already clear.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
yes,
So
is
you
there a
have-
motion to vote on? What?
We're gonna say either one.
Yeah, oh, okay, all those in favor of approving last meeting's minutes, say aye. All those opposed? Any abstentions? Say aye, meeting minutes are not approved. All right, moving on to, somebody to make a motion.
Yes,
Going
now,
back to the, okay,
so I move to amend the agenda.
okay.
Okay, so
amend the agenda to be under USGD position confirmation, letter C, CHS Senator Laura Rodella, and then under college reports for the funding. So under college reports, add a funding request for. Okay, so under new business, letter D, funding request, and then a discussion vote.
All those in favor of amending the agenda to add, point C to USGD position confirmations, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions. We'll add that to the agenda. Ayes have it. Okay, so is there all those in favor of adding a funding request to new business, say aye. All those opposed, abstentions. Ayes have it. We will add that to the agenda. Now, moving. Okay, is there a motion to reopen the agenda to move the funding request up?
I move to re-amend the agenda to move the funding request up to the agenda.
All those in favor, we're. Okay,
To move it ahead of USGD.
is there and all those in favor of moving the funding request to go above the USGD? Confirmation, say aye. Opposed, abstentions, say ayes have it. Now we're going to move on to the approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to amend the meeting?
I move to amend the last meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of amending last meeting, say aye.
Aye. Yeah, so I move to amend last meeting minutes to read. No, we have to say what it is first. And then do the vote. So I move to amend last meeting minutes to read under the vote tally for Senate Resolution 1, from 7-1 to 3 ayes, 1 nay, and 1 abstention.
All those in favor of changing the vote from 7 to 1 to 3 to 1 to 1, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, abstentions, okay, committee minutes will be changed. Okay, now for a call to the audience.
Sure. So as I'm not going to know, on Facebook, there was a student who received basically a full ride from a community college, and he got his scholarship for both the same day that classes started. So, Eduardo, my friend over here, I've been in freshman year, this is him. So I brought him over to see if he can speak on the story, what happened, and his future plans. So if you want to tell us all about it.
Sure, definitely. I'm Eduardo Duhan. I'm a transfer student from Lima Community College, and my major is public policy, public management. Okay, well, this I was awarded the All Arizona Academic Team Scholarship by the Arizona Board of Regents, supposedly by accident. But according to the criteria and the rubric, I was fully eligible to apply for it, and therefore I received it, and I even received an award from the government of Arizona. But on the first day of classes, as you guys may know, ASU called me and said that it was being revoked because of my illegal status in the country. Even though by federal government I have legal status. As of right now, that's why I'm able to work. So I'm not here to sell a political agenda, nonetheless. I'm just here to share with you guys my story. And you guys are students just like me here at ASU. So,
Can you tell us on what actions you took after?
Sure. I reached out to various deans around ASU to try to gather some answers to see why this was happening to me on the first day of classes. It had been posted on my account for a couple of weeks now, and I was just trying to gather some information as to why this was happening such a late in the process. I got a hold of no one, so then I decided to take action on my own. I contacted Arizona Daily Star in Tucson, that's where I'm from, and they interviewed me. They published an article, and it's gone viral. It's literally, I got a text from my girlfriend. She lives in Missouri, saying that I was on the cover of USA Today. And I Googled my name, and an article in Brazil came up. So it's gone crazy over the internet. I set up a GoFundMe account. That skyrocketed as well. As of less than 24 hours ago, I was emailed by ASU, and we sat together and they found private funds after reaching out to the media. So that's pretty much the gist of it. Do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, do you have any plans with the GoFundMe money and also the private funds?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm essentially the face of a movement right now for Arizona DACA students. I don't know if you guys are familiar with DACA, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. There's a movement that's growing big by the minute here in Arizona to try to demand the state of Arizona to revoke or reconsider Proposition 300, which pretty much limits financial aid for DACA students like myself. And with the GoFundMe account money, I don't know if you guys have looked at it. I mean, it's all over Facebook, Google. My goal was 18,000, and I hit I'm to nearly 24,000 in less than a week. So that's it's definitely a blessing. With that money, I plan to do scholarships for DACA students in the state of Arizona and promote essentially who we are. I'm not here to take anyone's scholarship, anyone's money. I'm here to carve my own path, just like anyone else. I was brought here when I was 8 years old. I mean, I don't know any other country than this. So this is pretty much the life I was given, so I'm just gonna keep going forward and fight.
Well, I just want to say we're terribly sorry to hear what happened. Always feel free to reach out to us if you're ever encountering problems.
Sure. Thank you.
The government's here to work on behalf of students. Actually, I met him last night, and it's something that I think we all find a little bit heartbreaking in some sense, but we're really glad that ASU was able to figure out some funding for you. Please let us know if you need any further assistance.
Definitely, I will. I'll stay in touch. I'm sure you guys probably see me or hear me on the news or something. We're actually, there's also a movement, it's kind of informal right now. A guy that attends Tempe campus messaged me. We're trying to set up a DACA resource center on Tempe campus. So that's going to be in the works.
Do you know his name?
Don't know his name. I have to look at my phone. I'll pull it up. Yeah.
First of all, thank you so much for coming to share your story. Being the face of this movement, let me start because you're just empowering other people to do the right thing. And unfortunately, what happened to you is not right, and I apologize. I also want to say, were you able to start your classes after?
Yes, I was able to start my classes, yes. matter of fact, I started my classes, but I didn't have money to buy my textbooks. So yesterday I was able to finally buy my textbooks. Yeah, so in that sense, that's great. There's still a lot of work that can be done, should be done, moving forward. Right now, I turned down national TV shows wanting to do interviews with me because I don't want my story to only be told. I want everyone's story to be told. I want to shift the focus away from me so much and into the movement that are facing Arizona students across the state.
I can imagine that you're not the only student that something like this has happened.
No, they're the same scholarships, same scenario, same situation happened to another student last year. Here at ASU, and they did nothing about it until they came across with me, I guess, in national news.
Thanks for doing that, Barbara. Thanks for coming. Thank you so much. Get your rest for the rest of the meeting. I'll see you on Thursday.
All right, anybody else? Moving on to funding advice, we'll give the floor to Vanessa. Okay, so on last week's BAC meeting, we had a funding request from Nonprofit Leadership Alliance Student Association. And the reason why we tabled this request specifically until now is because we as BAC were unsure about why they needed to come to us and request money if they were a class and a student board simultaneously. But I have figured out the reason why they have been directed to us for their funding, and that is simply just because some colleges will fund their students in their endeavors for their education, but some just don't. And the college that this organization is a part of is just not one of those colleges that funds the external things like, I guess the example that comes to my mind is when a student needs to take that outside. Here, the student is accepted to do those things. And this is not one of those situations, except it's a retreat, so it's a little bit different, but that's why it's or why they're being directed to request from us. So, is the organization on the floor right now?
Yes, I have a representative.
Okay.
Amy, are you on the line? Can you please introduce yourself and describe the funding request to us, please?
Sure. My name is Elizabeth, and I am the director of nonprofit leadership. And we're requesting $800 for funding for our fall retreat. Over the cost of like the camp and transportation up to the camp for about 35 students. And the weekend of the retreat is really important for all students to know each other and understand our events and marketing strategies and everything else.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, like she said, we're requesting 1,800 of this, the 3,500 total cost. Because that is obviously the cap. But do we have any questions further for Amy or ask for a motion? Okay, so do we have a motion to vote on?
I move to vote on this one.
Second.
Alright, all in favor of approving the Nonprofit Leadership Alliance Association's funding request for 1,800? Yeah. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, ayes have it. So, the funding request has been approved. So, Ernie, if you're closer, can you just tell us?
Hi, Amy. Your funding request has been approved with our director of finance, and that's where we'll get back to you momentarily to assist you with that process.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
All right, now we're going to move on to position confirmations. Is there a motion to discuss?
I move to discuss.
Is there a All right. All those in favor of discussing, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I think we'll
Start with Adrian. So Adrian, you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Adrian Rosario. I'm part of CONTACT, majoring in community health.
Do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, I guess, what interests you in getting involved in student government?
Oh, okay. I've always been involved in student government, but I was never a part of it in high school. I was too busy with home stuff, and I was the president and historian. I kind of liked that leadership position, helping everybody out. But I just didn't have time for student council. But I felt like college was an opportunity for me to help out the student government and stuff, help out ASU as a whole. So this is a perfect opportunity.
What year are you?
I'm a freshman.
Awesome. That's all. I just.
Oh, okay.
Any other questions? All right, we're going to introduce you to Casey. Casey Rowe, I'm a bachelor's in taxes and communications major. Freshman. Anybody have any questions?
Is how many credit hours are you taking every day?
16. Any other questions?
Same question that Margaret asked, what is interesting to you?
I was in student council in high school. While I wasn't a really big student council, we kind of had to all contribute a lot more for it. And I kind of wanted to do the same thing here. I know that like some people like just don't feel like coming up and being a part of this, but I think that we should all like, give a chance to be heard and stuff. So I actually think it's a good opportunity to do. Anyone else? Okay, now we're going to introduce you to Laura.
I'm Laura. My major is exercise and wellness, and I'm a junior. And what interests me is just getting involved, helping people. I love helping people. I'm in a sorority, so we help people a lot and children and stuff. And I'm very passionate about that, and I like live, breathe my sorority. So I just want something else that I can live and breathe and just help people and make a difference.
Right, Carson, you're doing
Yeah, how many credits do you take downtown?
Currently 12.
But you're a bigger sorority.
Any other questions? Is there a motion to confirm the three positions?
Motion to
Second.
All those in favor of confirming the three senator positions, say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? Okay, you're all confirmed.
I can sit right here.
Yeah, you guys can ask questions and be involved, you just can't like, so we just.
That's what it's easier. Okay, so now we're going to move on to executive updates, starting with the vice president of services.
Hi, everyone. This week, we had the Senate vote, Senate vote on Tuesday. On Tuesday, Marianne actually got assisted with that. Thank you very much, Marianne. We had ice cream and popsicles out there. And I just want to say that to everyone who did assist us with that, thank you very much. The very beginning of the event, it was a really low volunteer turnout from our staff. So I really encourage you guys to please volunteer and sign up on the sign-up sheet because we need assistance with setting up because of these huge events. We were able to advertise the Seminole Express. We told our students that the Seminole Express is coming on Tuesday throughout the week. It should be more than the end of the week or next week. But Tuesday night is there as a trolley. And I talked to Ron about that, and basically the Undergraduate Express is coming back to the shuttle system. Right now, maybe shuttles are a maintenance, and should be coming back. Yeah, but they don't have one, but they will be back to the shuttle.
So you're saying that we would travel,
Correct. Yes.
So have the stops changed?
I think so, like, are you talking about the signage and everything, waiting, I could see, I think I gave the law that was, actually, in terms of places to go off. I don't know.
So Marianne and my friend were riding the other night and it drove right by us. Like, we were at the sign in front of Taylor, just like, yeah, I didn't open the doors.
Getting your swap.
No.
Okay, well, I think actually, about, because we're being for the service for our students, and it should be stop at every stop.
I'm sure that things will,
Yeah.
will get in contact.
Yeah. All right, you guys ready?
I mean, we don't have that far, but still.
Yeah, but there's students who are taking it to different parking lots that would actually be a big
Also, it was the bus, it wasn't the trolley.
Good. Okay.
I wrote yesterday.
It was the night policy.
Yeah.
The Wednesday.
So there's two truck shuttles that actually go grocery run.
So if it's either one, those stops in our Taylor place, right?
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Neither, it didn't stop.
They went through the rubber slide and turned left.
Did you
Like,
pass
right,
the red
right.
light?
No, it wasn't
Hey,
very
guys, I think they went fast down the street, where you're like, oh, we gotta go, and we stood there and it just flew.
They looked at each other and Ariana walked out.
So I'll let you talk about that, get that fixed. Apart from the Sun Devil Express, I've been working on the Sun Devil Coalition, and the Sun Devil Coalition will be going next week on Thursday. So I'm inviting all of our staff members to attend. Feel free to attend the event. We'll be having our student work leaders, and we'll be giving you updates about activities downtown, Center for Express, and different legislation. It's also a place where student organizations can get resources and training on the BAC, on how to reserve room, and basically having space downtown for that downstairs space. And I worked with, speaking of that, I worked with the director of administration. We were trying to organize the cabin space downstairs because it's a little unorganized afterwards. Stuff that's just trash everywhere. So we'll be working with Claudia to organize that. And hopefully have a contract with student organizations to basically check out the cabins. Yes.
The pinball,
Yeah,
are we ordering that?
not yet. I haven't put any request for that at all. I want to wait until we get feedback from this and go to questions.
Something that would be helpful for all of them.
Do you have a question?
Not really.
Okay.
Sort of.
Other than that, I've been working with ASUPD to have a facility event. So we kind of made up the name. So we want to introduce our officers to our students and friendly, community policing down there at the sites, just seeing them on the street and organizing and everything like that. So if you guys have any ideas, I'd love to put ideas and kind of move forward with that. We have not set a date for the event yet. So most likely will be next year.
We should also try to get the women to the opening.
This is more focused on ASUPD,
Not PD in general.
not any
Okay.
but if you guys want to see it, I would recommend to have ASUPD, I would add PSUPD or a separate event, we'll look into that. I would like to have a separate event just with ASUPD for our students.
Amazing.
There's no date set. Are there any other questions before we do? Thank you, guys. Congratulations to them.
And now we're going to move on to the vice president policy.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I just want to say this last week,
wonderful turnout for the policy talks. Mr. Lawrence Robinson was absolutely impressed with said how professional it was done, how professionally it was done, with how many people were there. And then he noted to me that whenever we want the mayor to come down, he'd be more than happy to put in a very good recommendation for our events. So it kicked off really great. So now moving forward, we're trying to figure out a little bit more with the community of public service and community solutions to try to make that event a little bit bigger. I'm sure Oscar and Martin can give you a little bit more detail about their meeting with the dean this week. I had contacted the city of Phoenix last week in regards to a constituent request, requesting because he does have an impairment visual, and I'm still waiting on the call from the city of Phoenix to let me know when they're going to be installing the system there by the Mercado so that the student can hear when the light is green when they come on. That's something that probably isn't just going to affect them, but all our students that share similar struggles getting Mercado. So yes,
Also, I noticed last night when I was walking back in the Arizona Center, NHI2, that corner where the Arizona Center, like the movie theater is, there's not a central light there either. And there was a visually impaired person there who I had to tell her about. That happened? Yeah, last night. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I will get to contact the city of Phoenix.
But like NHI, the corner of NHI2, that's the northeast corner.
This would be Fillmore and
Yes.
Third Street. Third Street.
Was he constable or the one there?
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah.
NHI2, the Met, the
Oh,
skyline.
other side. Oh,
Yeah.
other side.
Yeah. There's not a sound alarm for the green light. Yeah. So I'll get in contact with them on Monday and then find out more. What he had informed me was that the city has the funds, but they don't have the procurement currently to go out and do them. And instead, it's on a list of about 30. So that's, I'll get in contact with them and try and see if we can get those higher up in the list because this is a concern for students. I'm sure the other ones are concerns for them. So we'll continue to keep trying to get that done because that's just not the problem that students should be dealing with. And I think it's pretty frustrating for that not to be in place. So I'll keep you updated on that situation. We got April in a couple weeks for those people going. I'll have further information for you, but I will bother all of you with that. And once again, I just want to thank our guests for coming today and speaking to us. I think that was really a case at home with many of us. And I think once again, we're here for you. So, but with that, Madam President, I yield the floor.
Thank you. Now we're going to the president.
Thanks, Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. I'm super excited that we've appointed 3 senators today. Shout out to Keys, Riley, and Ryan for their help during the process. Definitely not that one while. We're going to have a few weeks interviewing everyone. In addition to that, shout out to staff for creating awesome marketing for the Sunrise Restaurant meet and greet marketing. I'm super excited to see how meet and greet goes next week and the continuation of this program on the semester. Also, shout out to Jimmy for an awesome first edition of Policy Doc Series. It was a great turnout. I'm super excited with the result, and I'm happy to see where we go with that series throughout the semester. And in addition to that, shout out to Ron for still answering text messages. Probably should have been because he's sick. Thank you for always being here for us. I really appreciate it. But back to business, polos and name tags are in. They're over there on the counter, so in case yours up, please do so after Senate. In addition to that, the downtown ticketing booth last weekend was an extreme success with 750 wristbands given out throughout the day. Please note that distribution will start tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. at 1 p.m. In addition to that, there are now 15 DDA accessible tickets for 8th grade students. And in addition to that, the game tomorrow night starts at 7 p.m. and it's against Texas Tech. Please do your best to attend, show up, and be loud. Also, please wear gold. And then next week, Jade in tandem with myself, will maybe be sending out emails to find a time on Saturday morning where we can have more of a retreat style training, get everyone together, focus on team building and all that fun stuff. UPCs. So I reached out to 3 individuals this week about getting them to provide campus positions in disability advocacy and grants committee. So hopefully we can get those filled in the next few weeks. We still need reps for facilities fee board, 1 rep, parking safety board, 1 rep, tech advisory board, 1 rep as well. Family resources advisory, international students concerns committee, veterans advocacy, and grants committee, all in 1 rep. And also a shout out to Bryce, Ryan, and staff for applying to UPC. Finally, I met with Dean Pike yesterday. They expressed great interest in assisting us at a local and university-wide level to address student well-being and mindfulness. Specifically, she expressed interest in participating in a policy job series on mindfulness and student health and well-being. And then she expressed interest in assisting the council presidents with their priorities on health and wellness in regards to increased marketing and ensuring that health services are equitable and equal across all 4 locations, and reducing the stigmas associated with any help from those. With that, I don't have any questions. Martin.
Do we know for the downtown ticketing booth, do we like run out a ticket or wristbands or?
No. So what do you? Is there a follow-up question?
I have a follow-up question. Yeah. What's the number we're allocating? So we had like, yeah. So we had 550 left over, pretty much? Yeah. Okay.
And did that just go back to 10 feet or were those things better?
2 questions. The first thing, the ADA tickets. So we didn't have any before.
Oh, yeah, there's just miscommunication between a few students. So we've addressed that issue now.
15. Okay. And my other question was the list of all the open UBC positions. Can you send that to us, please?
One last thing, I have to leave in 7 minutes from the MD help from bringing back. So I'm excited to see that was like.
I applied for UBC like months ago.
So I recommended you. I can follow up with on that. This is where you want.
Okay.
Because you're on the list. You're highlighted.
I'm hired.
You're highlighted, sorry. For.
I know it.
University hearing board and parking and transit advisory board, right?
Wait, what?
They killed the parking.
Yeah, unless there are any more questions.
All right, now we're going to move on to director reports, starting with chief of staff. Okay, hi everybody. So like Jackson said, I will be sending out a Google poll that has details on when you guys are free for Saturday morning training. For those of you who were here last semester, I believe we did a training in the SDFC, so I think we're going to do something outsourced, and then come back over here to like L112 or something and have like a more formal training lunch or something. So be on the lookout for that Google poll, and also looking at possible dates for like I don't know when it would happen because it seems like Friday morning doesn't work for a lot of our staff, but I'm looking at possible dates for optional trainings for professionals and things that already and I discussed last week. And then family dinner is tonight. I know that the Kesha concert is tonight, but it's okay. We will have another family dinner. So if you make it great, and your senators, we would love to have you. And that's just at Phoenix Public Market, which is just across the street. That's our reservations at 6, so we're just probably going to hang out with us. And then I have to end my updates with kind of a side note. I'm giving out 2 strikes today. One to Jackson for failure to meet the September 2nd deadline with a complete log, and then one to Jimmy for failure to meet the AR form deadline, which is September 2nd.
administration.
Hey guys, so kind of have a lot to say this week, usually pretty, usually not, but, I met with, Dr. Briggs as well as, met with Millie upstairs as well, in administration, and just a few things, that I should know. One, I know some of you work with, I don't know if the exact was, but people have come to me and asked, like, what are exactly our pay dates? I'm not 100% sure for the senators just yet. I know, like, the months, however, I don't know the exact date. But for you guys, you'll be getting paid, like, it will be like that first, for this semester, will be like that first check of, October, as well as the first pay month, pay period of December. And then the spring will be like the first pay of March, and then the first pay of May. I'll get those dates, for you guys. I've actually, emailed Melanie already to set up a meeting with her, and as well as exec, which is be bi-weekly. It's, Riley is put it in advance, so she be getting paid bi-weekly. If you don't have direct deposit, please go set up direct deposit. If you don't, you can get your check, and it sits upstairs, and then you don't have your money, then you're like, where's my money? So if you guys could set up direct deposit, it's like pretty simple, like on my ASU. So that way we're making sure that everybody gets paid on time, and if there are issues, then we can get those sorted out in advance instead of waiting until the last minute. Also, again, like Ernie said earlier, we've been kind of working on getting those cabin spaces that we have downstairs, kind of cleared out, trying to contact the student organizations who have stuff in there. We went through them all and kind of saw what was in there and what wasn't in there. A lot of them are really empty, like each of those really big cabins that we have downstairs. A lot of them, like, they were just like maybe like 1 or 2 boxes in each of them. And I was just thinking from like our standpoint, like we could definitely utilize for more storage space. I'm pretty sure some other organizations could use it as well, but we don't, a lot of them don't live there. So what we're thinking about implementing is maybe like a locker contract basically. So what we do is we kind of set it up as where, obviously the standard don't put any hazardous things in the lockers, but also checking out the lockers for a semester at a time and saying that if you don't come pick up your stuff at the end of the semester, it will be discarded. So kind of having them sign that contract as well, and also kind of having a sign-in sheet so we can actually see and monitor who's coming in and out of that area to see if people are actually utilizing those lockers. So if you guys have any feedback and input from here, Claudia, that would be great. And question?
Yes. How has the room, the Senate office been cleanliness and their staff? Is that
It's still like it's getting there. I do notice that I'm really a stickler for things like that. So like just like chairs being out everywhere drives me crazy. I don't know if that like goes for anybody else, but I feel like it's really difficult to kind of work and be productive when there's stuff everywhere because I feel like your mind isn't focused as well. Also, food being left out, that's a problem. That's how you get ants. You guys want ants. Also, like, I understand, like, especially for commuter students, when I'm a commuter student, well, I understand that we're going to leave some of our things in the office. I feel like if we could just be respectful and kind of, I'll make like an area for people who are commuter students. If you need to put your stuff in the office, then we'll have an area for that. But just kind of be respectful and not leave our stuff everywhere. I'll be honest, like, I left my backpack sitting around like a jacket or something. So just for all of us, just be mindful of where you're putting your things, and also be respectful, back to yourself, because it's not just your space, it's somebody else's space. It has gotten better since I've brought it to everybody's attention, but there's still a few instances where I see people have their food out, or like I said, chairs are everywhere, backpacks are all over the table, papers are all over the table, so just kind of be mindful of that.
All right, now we're moving on to our communication. Hi everyone, how's it going?
Good.
Yeah. So obviously this flight is outside of my country, so just kind of show you. But so I got most of the blogs that were turned in posted. There's only 4 that have been posted. So I've been trying to do my best to make sure they get published on Facebook, but I have them set to publish like 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. and I can't schedule the Facebook post. Anyway, so it's been kind of shows get them publicized on Facebook, but when you're just posted, I would just recommend that you
posted on Facebook and social media just to get that extra traction. But like Rice's blog about Archive was like 15. Archive is like the topic. I don't know if it's Archive students or anytime something about Archive is the topic. So yeah, like I said, most of your documents are listed, so take a look at that. But also then helping with social media or helping to do that. Just as a lot easier to managing. Other than that, setting your blogs are due Friday, 5 minutes. I haven't to see this 10 minutes, Friday. Another comment I have about blogs is these can be really meaningful. So just make sure your blog is going. This event is happening next week, you should come. You know what I mean? Really explore the topic. And I've also been having a ton of tips, like freshman tips. We're probably good on freshman tips. So I'm sorry if that was what you want to try your blog. And then new members, so we have a blog where you will post content to, and yours, since it's due tonight, I won't be doing anything tonight, yours will be due 2 weeks from now. And you can just check out, it's on WordPress. And make sure you follow us on all the right.
So when you ask for photos, does it matter what they are? Like, are there any specific stock photos or anything? Or what?
Yeah, what I've been doing, if you didn't include a photo, there are a few stock photos, but you have to get access to it, and I need to get access to it. So if you kind of tell me like what you're looking for, like I want students to share on some level of the game. I did one of those pictures first. But like, man, it's gonna be awesome. It's pretty fun to do, like download each one. But it'll be cool. Yeah. But like, so for your content blog, I pull the content stock image. But there's only one on there, so. And you can take your own, like, if I was doing blog content, I just go like, take a picture of the person and just but I do encourage photos. So for those is like a Google Drive link or send it to another student. There's no other questions. I do. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Now we're going to the director of marketing.
Hi, everybody. So this week, basically, what I did was promote like the policy talk and meet and greet along with Samantha's help. She kind of showed me the ropes for social media. So if you guys need anything tweeted or if you want on Facebook or anything, don't be afraid to hit me up, text me or whatever, and I can get that out for you. I met with Jackson this week about a monthly newsletter for USG. It's still in the beginning stages. I'm working on a template, like design. So if any of you guys have any design ideas or what we're really struggling with is like content, because we don't want to do it every week. We kind of want to make it monthly. So if you guys have any ideas for content, feel free to talk to me or Jackson. I met with Ernie about pizza with a PD. So we're just working on marketing that. Yeah, if you guys need anything automated, feel free to hit me up. And we'll get flyers, questions, whatever you guys want.
The newsletters for like the social media.
Yeah, it's like the USG newsletter, so it's what we're working on and what students need to know about us.
It's gonna be in print.
That's what we haven't decided yet because we wanted to do it digital, so it's easier for students, but we have the email thing where you can only email to everyone once a semester or something like that. So we're trying to figure out a way to do it.
So we can start with email.
And make an email list. All right, that's a good idea.
And can we include blogs? All new content all the time?
Yeah, that's something Jackson and I discussed. So we're just working out like ideas.
Is there a rule on sending emails from like the Gmail, the USGD Gmail account, or is
like,
I think that only the, like, that big, the rule is when everything sent out was, you know, the mass one. I think that's through that, you know, agent through first.
but we don't think we have limits on that. But if we have our own list, like our bets that we could send through Gmail.
They sign up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we do it a lot. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah, I would encourage, like, maybe at all of our events.
So I think what we're gonna do is advertise like the email sign up and like make target for that and then get people to sign up and have email lists.
I'll point out that we already do have an email list with people that sign up for newsletter applications. So it's already started. It's on the drive. Literally the first folder of USGD. It's in there someplace. Orientation sign up, contact with us, something like that.
Okay. Sweet, thank you. Okay, thank you. Now we're gonna move on to the director of finance. All right, I don't have very many updates, but I have Ron. I'm going to start working on the spreadsheet, all of the individual funding requests, and everything like that. But after I meet with Nellie and or Diana, because I just want like personally to know how much of the funds that the students have requested is actually being used. So you know like exactly how much is there, even though we like given a certain amount. I just want to know how much we really have. And we have BAC on Wednesday. Fund requests are due tonight at 11:59 p.m. And right now, I have an 8 currently, but one of them I'm not going to approve the agenda because they.
How has, Senate representation been at the BAC?
It's been awesome actually. I was over for 5 months. Well, I exceeded 5. I can't really speak out as some speakers, so.
Can you hear us, Jack?
I got you.
Can you hear us? Yeah, oh, that's been fun. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so we're going to move on to Director of Local Affairs. Hi guys, so as you all know, we coming up on Wednesday, and I just emailed out the sign up sheet, so for all those of you who haven't signed up, please sign up, even if you can't go, there's a section on there that you can fill out that says like your reasoning and stuff, so that events. But we're going to be having gelato. I've been talking to Ron about paying for it. And I just got an email back from Diana yesterday. Made an appointment for the 20-year class, and she's been in the hospital, so that's why she hasn't been in contact with her. So I have a meeting set up with her on Monday, so that I'll be squared away. And then after that, Ron and I are going to talk about how we're doing. There's a lot of general and I know Ernie already talked to touch base on it, but we did the popsicles on Taylor Mall, and surprisingly got rid of all of them, which was really weird because I had 400 even like 20 popsicles in my cart, and the person at the store kind of weird and bought a single box. So good job with that, and I know Ernie already said something about this, but please come to events. I know you're only required to do in 2 months. I know our staff is a lot smaller than they used to be, so I mean it's growing. But please come to events if you can, even if you're not a past just stop in and try to help out. Even if you can't come to the event, maybe come set up or come break
down. Just 3 to 5 days would help a lot, especially it's a bigger event. So, yeah.
Have you had a chance to look through all of the civil taxes that are being signed up for the volunteer program?
Yes, I still need to like go through everything, but I really want to get in contact with some of your Indigenous community knowing about events and stuff. So I wanted to see if you would want to help out that meet and greet. I mean, it's a smaller event, so they wouldn't have to do like too much work, like setting up in their office. So it'd be like a good starter event. So probably that's something that
And the teachers, we are teachers.
they're downstairs at the office. The volunteer shirts, are they in? Okay. We'll look. Thank you.
I have a question about the meeting kind of announcement. It would be unfortunate if a student from, let's just say, like Comcast came and wanted to get the Comcast Center and was there. So please, everyone, make sure you're there because they meet everything that's supposed to meet us. Not so please be representing at this meeting, the students that may be coming just to look for you for a question or something like that. It's not just, hey, we're here, you know, it's more of a drop in if you have anything, we're here to assist you with that.
Person point of privilege.
I was gonna say, if you go to the meet and greet, it would really help if you were wearing our polos and the name tags, because when that happens, there's so many people in that small space in our room, so people don't really know if you're senator or not, or they don't know. So just make sure you're wearing your polos or at least your name tag.
Yeah, just, I'm in a little bit, so I know that if you have like work or something, that's fine, and you're going to students, but if we can just read it for a little bit. And then also like maybe post that on your Facebook or like, say, I'm going to be at this meeting where you're from here to here, if you have any questions or want to meet. Okay. Yes, I was gonna say, like, share it out, please. I know like everyone's sharing out, we're gonna be it's just a huge people, it's not as many because I know all of our friends. It is open to other students, like not just really downtown students, like different communities. All right, so now we're going to our state and municipal affairs.
Hello. Got a few updates. The video series, the first one was released, and a fair amount of people watched it. I don't know, like some number of hundreds. I don't know if that's like good or bad, but it's people. The next one, the first actual video in the series, filming that Saturday, and I'm going to get it out by the 18th, which is Sunday after next. So that's cool. Also, coming up on the 27th, we're going to have a National Voter Registration Day during registration drive. It's going to be basically all day long. We're going to register to vote and do a donor polls. So the table slot and equipment rental forms are already been submitted, and I'm in the process of filling this form out for the food exemption. So, this is not really but the sign-up sheet's going to be coming in the next couple of days. It's Tuesday, from 8 to 3:30. Hours set up, so it's 9 to 3 with a half an hour carry on. So we need a lot of you there. We'll be there all day because I have nothing else to do. And yeah, the next few days, probably Monday, I'd say. So yes, sir.
I know we do have a president's meeting scheduled that morning, perhaps we could just change that. That way, the people that are supposed to be at the meeting get that.
It is an all-day event, so if they can't come like right away in the morning, I'm sure some people will be there in the morning, and then they'll be shifts. You don't have to be there all day, obviously. But we'll see what happens. If we're short people then maybe we can think about
Did you say the 22nd or
27th.
Oh, the 27th.
That's 2 days from Tuesday.
Okay. We talked about helping with this in BC today. So let me know if
Sure. Any other questions? No? Okay.
So now it's back to me. I'm gonna go a little bit of my time to the senators. If you guys have any ideas you want to share right now through your colleges, please let us know. You don't have to right now. I'm spot. I just want to know what you. Jackson, where is he? Yeah, but do you have some, do you need to add something? Okay. All right, so then we'll go with my update. First of all, sorry about the confusion at the beginning with all of that. Very confusing. A way that we can mitigate that is like if you have something you need to add into the agenda, like let me know in advance. Because if we don't, then we have to do all of that and we have to admit it, and it just kind of becomes a mess. So like get it to me so we can do that before. Also, a little bit later, we'll be talking about funding and the intern program. So that's been kind of my week. So we'll do a lot of that. Also do interviews. Let's see. I have been in contact with Timothy a little bit about some of the legislation going on there. So next meeting, we should have some new legislation. So there's a lot of that.
Speaking of happy legislation, I haven't looked into it, but I did see that they have something about like emission statement or something, their agendas and stuff. I was wondering what you guys kind of thought about that, putting an emission statement on our agendas, just kind of getting familiar with our goals as USGD, just always keeping true to that.
Do you mean specifically the idea of crafting one, or is it a good idea to have it there? Because I think it's a good idea to have it there, and I think it's a good idea to put it on the agendas.
Yeah, crafting one,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, so we look at it, adopt it, change it, and then add it to the text.
Because I've acted on the Sunday book for which like that. So every time I look at that, it's like, yeah, I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.
I can have that.
It's like, it's new, but
You're not at the final. That's-
You want to add that?
You're done?
Yeah.
Okay, I also forgot, I went to the Timothy Senate meeting, and I group chat a little bit of it, but I wanted to update you guys because some of the information that we were thinking is actually not true. Actually being there in person, it's not surprising. So, what they have, we were under the impression they have 3 reads of legislation, they actually have 2, and sometimes they do move it from first read to second read in the same meeting. In this case, there was appropriation bill that was for the Student Alumni Association, which was moved to second read and passed. So that's how that works. And in addition, I just kind of want to point out that I'm going to be at every single one. So if you guys have any like things you need to go ahead and like tell me, like let me know. I'll be there and I can talk to them. Helps communication a little bit, having it face to face. Other than that, they through the recognition of Indigenous Peoples Day, hopefully we do today, and the mission statement as well. So if we want to take a look at their mission statement, they wrapped ours in around the same everything they did. That might be a good idea. So yes, thank you, Ryan. Thank you, man.
So that is the fire report, so we're going to follow the reports starting there.
Okay, so my week was working with Emily Beeman, fraternity about the adoption of their Indigenous Peoples Day bill to visit their petition on this resolution. So that was my week working on this resolution, doing research about it, as well as working on the blog post, which is related back to Indigenous Peoples Day. I've been emailing Dean Raymond, the assistant, I forget her name right now, about meeting with her again. She's out at the end of the month, so we're gonna have to put that until October. That was my week. My week was resolution. Oh, sorry. Forgot. Don't want to do it. I have to issue Jackson. I have to issue you with a point for an absence from president's meeting, and then Ariana, I have to issue you what, 2 points? Yeah, for a unexcused absence or tardiness for absence is not being able to call for the KC event. I yield.
First I want to start by saying that I did my blog for the first time, which is really exciting. Because last year I watched everyone else do it, but I'm not doing it, so it's cool. Next, I want to talk about the fact that I dropped into the D meeting with the hospice centers, and that's just because, I'm in that college, and also I had a discussion with Dean Raymond about the relationship between hospice and there. So I'm sure that the hospice centers will help me about that. And also, I told my office hours and met with the student about it. That's it. There you go.
And undergrad in college, council updates this week.
Still trying to be the student.
Now we're going to move on. I didn't put it. Okay.
It's okay.
And Steve stopped there too, and Costas. So, okay. To Costas.
Yes, so the biggest thing that we did, we met with the team this week, we kind of discussed, kind of gave them like our vision, what we wanted, and then they provided us like with what they want us to do. And the biggest thing was like student engagement, both like studently engaged, but both, and also like being engaged on campus. So thinking about like maybe like taking a workshop on like how to be engaged, like what does it mean to be like an engaged student? I kind of touched on the topic of like advising, and that's something that we talked about last year. What else? It was good to know that our dean was like, you don't have to set up like a big meeting, you can just email me and I'll be back to you as soon as possible. So if there's any concerns or issues, like we got that direct contact with the dean. I don't know if you
Well, yeah, just to touch on that, because we met last week just to Senator Curtis and to talk about concerns and goals to be set for college. And the big picture here was that there was no unity or identity for Costas. So that's kind of what we had. We wanted to see what the this plan for this year and how we can sort of tackle this issue. One of the things that I think that will be on right now is trying to have some sort of script, more like a semester with Costas students. I'm currently looking at this one conference. It's going to be during spring, figuring out the logistics and see if we can go to Lamar and from there we're going to see if we can agree on this trip. But I think what the dean suggested that we should really focus on is sort of empowering students to take action, because a lot of times they come to us, they come to him with all these issues, but it seems like they don't take any actions themselves. That's something a lot of times our students from our college are first generation students to go to college, and they feel that like, because they're new to everything, they don't know what to do, like, so they don't take any action themselves. So he says that we want to focus on that, and we brought up, because Jimmy suggested about like having serious conversations. He loves the idea, but he suggested to actually work more directly with the office. So if we have a bit of next week, so we can start working on future projects on that.
I think moving forward too, we kind of talked about like doing some tabling to actually see like what the concerns are for our students and see like what, because we talked about like different classes being offered at the same time as other ones, but I think the dean wants to get more information from the students to see if that's actually like affecting them or like what kind of concerns they want more appropriate.
And then you mentioned that you want us to call the college counselors.
So I have a question about what you meant by taking action. Is not reaching out to you guys or reaching out to him, taking action. Like,
Right. Okay, like for example, an example was the law students would come to me saying like, hey, for public policy, all my classes are online, right? That's actually something that sort of fits as well. But he mentions that a lot of times they are face-to-face classes, but they're only in the morning. So students choose to wake up early and complain about the classes. Or there's sometimes an overlap. He just wants like if there's an actual problem to give them concrete information, like what class, what time, what semester, things like that. So you can actually look into it.
But also to like voice it out too, because a lot of the times like if students do have issues, they tend to not, they just complain about it, but like never like report it to anybody.
For some reason, it only be one trouble.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, advisors was like, oh, this advisor, blah, blah, blah. And you guys say, well, what advisor? And then we're working on also ideas just to give you the goal to the series of talks. And that's it.
We do not, I wasn't able to. Last week's meeting was canceled and this week I was able to. But we're definitely, we always had concerns about college counselors that she said, or associate deans that she could touch base with them.
My thought was a little bit, I guess, but about the dean saying, I just kind of, it's a little confusing to me that why they changed the name from political programs to public service and community solutions, if they're just going to ignore community solutions entirely. So, I don't know when.
It wasn't like, it was just a suggestion.
No, I understand that, which is why that might seem petty, but if you don't mind, since I am also in that college, the next meeting you guys have, that you think would be appropriate for me to come along and also do that.
Sure.
For something. So,
Sounds good.
would you provide a rationale on moving away from obfuscus to observe?
So, just clarification, there's no move away from college public service. It's just.
No, we understand that, but it's ignoring an entire subset of students.
It's the whole thing, it's saying cops, you don't know cops.
It's just how you refer to it.
Yeah, it's not like doesn't change the name or anything, it's still college public service.
You understand that, it's just.
No,
It's
that's.
kind of confusing for them to like use the name to include community solutions. And then when we refer to it now, we're supposed to.
So here's the thing, so is it better to say COPSes? People that know what it is.
But I think we're talking to people who aren't in USGD or aren't involved and understand what COPSes is, then it's probably better to actually just say college of public service and community solutions versus just saying public service.
Yeah, you say public
Then you still
service.
gotta add clarity. It feels like it's just retroactive. Why did you?
Yeah, so I think the easier thing is just go say COPSes. Just say how public service. Okay, very next.
Yes.
Okay, all right, moving on to Cronkite.
Hi. The first update for Cronkite is this week we got an email from Dean Barrett, and she says that Cronkite is thinking about offering a Spanish language version of the entire Cronkite News program. They haven't decided if that's something they want to do or not, but she wants feedback by today, so.
Let's do that. You want to go as the entire conversation about it?
I think so.
Yeah, that's why I was.
Yeah, I actually don't remember what to say, but, okay, you got it too. So if that's something anybody has, if they already shared your feedback with her, I wanted to see if there's any comments on that or whatever before we come back. Done? Yeah. Well, if anybody has any, but yeah.
Want to come back right now. I know that last year when I was a senator for Pompeii, Dean Calhoun was like very happy about offering Spanish language classes. And he mentioned that it was something like journalism classes intertwined with Spanish, so it's an individual major. But he did mention that we are the first, if not one of the first schools to do it. And if we have a news program that is in Spanish, that would be really good. And it's really good for our school because we're already offering that major. So why wouldn't we have those students practice the Spanish language news like they would?
I would say absolutely yes. We have a, what is it, the National Association of Spanish Journalists. Here, and, I mean, we just added more to the format to make it more easier for people to read media or people to be engaged in the media. That'd be great.
Sorry, I'm just noting all that. Okay, so then Sunday, Riley and I and Kim and Morgan are meeting with student orgs from Cronkite to talk, just get to know them better, find out what kind of needs they have, make sure that they're aware of the funding process. Vanessa also is meeting with them. And so yeah, that's happening on Sunday, and also on Sunday we're having like lunch-ish, I guess, a senator from Tempe is coming, and I got an email this morning from a senator from West, just to talk about like transportation and different things that are happening on different campuses, and just see where everyone's at. I didn't know, I got your email later, I'm able to make it, but I'll try to be really interested in coming. So yeah, Sunday noon at the public market. Yeah, and then college council update, she canceled on us this week. I wasn't happy about that. So excited for it. We're meeting on Wednesday. And then EAC update from today, we're working with you on Fall Fest. So I know that that's what Mary had to do, so yeah, we'll touch base about that. And then voter registration, Ryan already told you about that. And then everyone on EAC was encouraged to contact at least 5 people to encourage them to apply for UBCs within the next 2 weeks. So everyone on staff can do that. That'd be great. And I think that's all.
Okay, so we're going to move on to new business, starting with Senate Resolution 3. Is there a motion to discuss?
I move to discuss.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of discussing Senate Resolution 3?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right,
Okay, so this resolution was adopted from the petition that passed on Tuesday. It's very, very, very similar to the Tempe one. Changes, I talked to Emily here about this. Changes were made where it is needed in terms of changing it to fit USGD. But for the most part, legislation. So this bill is resolution, is in support of recognizing Indigenous Peoples Day on Arizona State University's academic calendar. Currently, Columbus Day is not recognized on Arizona State University's academic calendar. So if the addition of Indigenous Peoples Day would not take a holiday off the calendar, it would simply be adding it to the second Monday of October, which falls on
I think it's very important that we pass this. Arizona is home to 22 federally recognized American Indian tribes. ASU Tempe is actually located on the two tribe lands. I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce those. Also, the ASU, it would be the best interest to represent a community that is not represented and never been represented. And I'm very much in the eye of this. In the head.
Yeah.
What made you spark your interest to?
Actually, last year, I was reading Buffalo, New York. They adopted it as their holiday on the second Monday of October. So that's what originally got my interest in it. And then I was reading about ASU Tempe or USG Tempe pushing this forward, and noticed that a bill 2012 is noted in this resolution. Senate Bill 24 passed in on December 4th, 2012. Removed Columbus Day from the academic calendar and wanted to place Indigenous Peoples Day in its place. That never happened. So the American Indian Council very much was active with Tempe. There wasn't an attempt to communicate with them because Tempe was very much upfront with this. I'll reach out to them after this. Maybe this fast. Yeah, I'm very much pro-representing people who've never been represented. I believe this resolution is morally correct. So, thank you.
Was this adding, like anything adding quality?
That's what it would be. This is just supporting the addition of Indigenous Peoples Day onto the academic calendar. So the official academic calendar.
So it's just saying Columbus Day and now it's just.
Not even Columbus Day. There's nothing on that day.
Okay, so, but it's adding it to the Columbus Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
It falls on the same day as Columbus Day.
So we move forward, how do we move forward with this? Will be like return to administration?
Yeah, we were approving this after Tempe approved it, the two largest campuses approving it. Could definitely be the push to get it on the actual academic.
There motion vote.
Second.
All those in favor of approving the resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Yes. Okay, passes. Okay, now moving on to the funding process. This is just discussion. So is there a motion to discuss funding process?
I move to discuss.
Is there a second? All those in favor of discussing funding process?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, have it.
So you sent us the email this week.
Yes.
You want to just kind of like explain that?
It was all yeah. September 6th.
Well, basically, it was.
Yeah.
What, yes,
Yes.
yes, all of that, find it on yes. Yeah, you have,
So currently, Tempe and West allow individual students to submit funding requests for travel. Poly and us, we and Poly do not allow students. either allowed to, students to submit individual based on major? Okay. Okay. Do you know, or have, Ron, do you know which majors those are?
Yeah, so, we're talking about it now. So, they, organizations, kids will also say, that's how the office. Who was majored product, but they're actually involved in the organization that's registered to take. Well, actually, I requested more for the student, the way the bylaw is set up, you have to have a major in respect of campus. But also, we also have to be registered to the organization. At that campus, that little bit of particularly, you know, what's going on right now, that you have to major, you have to campus. So Savannah, volunteer organization, attendee, you're going to come, each student has to submit individual requests, where essentially, we know that downtown, we don't have anything in our bylaws, or we have something about the state of the organization. Attendee, on the other hand, they won't fund her because she's not thinking downtown. So kind of parts that right there is, she can't do fund her downtown.
So hypothetically, they would never get that.
It's a matter of whether or not you want or you don't get that funding. Timothy did run out of travel funding last year in part because individual students could request funding. So it's just a matter of like whether the Senate really thinks that you guys have any opinion. Yeah, go for it, Jackson.
So if we were to adopt Medicare, can you just tell us what he said?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Okay, so Tempe has it set up as for their travel expense, they only have $55,000 allotted, which is why they ran it up so soon. Whereas the bus, travel expenses just go through the general fund, which is the, I think, the 400,000, whatever it is. So the question then is, do we set up a specific travel fund, or do we just allow students to go individual into the larger fund? Right. So, yeah, exactly.
I don't know how to I can't put on this, but as someone who's in a student or requesting funding for travel, it's really hard if you have an org that's really big that wants to go on travel because there is that $1,800 cap. Versus if there's only 2 people on the student org, they have $900 each, but if we have 10 people on so maybe there's somewhere we can do that so the person requests it as an individual that has to be linked to a student org. Just because it's not really fair. How does it get capped on how many people are going? Yes.
I can also see where it could benefit us to not require that you're linked to a student org, because I know if you were a reporter and you were going to a reporting conference, you might not necessarily be a part of any student organization or a paper through the school, but it would still benefit you professionally and as a student. So I can see where it could benefit us to allow people not to be linked to a student.
So we're gonna do campus or any more.
I was just gonna say, I definitely, I'm jaded, like there are definitely students who may not necessarily have the time to
be involved in the student org, but they are presented with opportunities. For example, I don't know, travel to a conference, or even like travel abroad or something like that, but their education maybe they're, I don't know, involved in something like for their major, and not necessarily the student organization, and to deny them that opportunity to go and better their education when we do have the funding to, you know, to do that. So that's a little bit unfair of us to deny our student body that money to further their education if we have it.
Yeah, also, I can also see this being a student who's not a reporter, and they want to interview someone who is far away at a conference or network with people at a conference. They could be like a National Association of Social Work conference, and they want to write a thesis on, you know, a topic that's going to be talked about there for one group there. I can see that being very beneficial, and then not having to be a member of a student organization. It can go for all majors, so I feel like we're just talking about reporters generally, and it doesn't have to be a reporter, it can be any other student. Although I do love programs.
I think one of the benefits of being in a student org bill is that, like, so say if somebody does request travel funds, they go to the, I guess, wherever they're going and learn information. But instead of like just bringing that information for one's personal stuff, they're able to bring it back to the rest of the student org, and then not just that benefit, but the rest of the student population. So I know, like I mentioned, like maybe like setting up a way for students to request travel funds for themselves, there be a way for them to bring, like maybe like set up a workshop or a talk to kind of present what they learned on this travel opportunity.
And I know that's what some people are saying about like we should stick with organizations like this one, but I just don't want to force people into like creating a club or joining a club just to travel. And I also think as individuals, we also have the bodies who pride, culture. I think we can represent it at these events. I do like Senator Porter's idea, like if we do allow individuals to go, maybe that's just a way that they can express, you know, like showcase what they did. I just agree that I just think we're limiting people if we have to go for organizations.
We're going to do that. Yeah, it's twice.
Jackie, you gotta leave?
Okay, we're gonna do Ryan, Bryce, Ariana,
Okay.
Vanessa.
I understand that there's a lot of students that are very busy that maybe don't have the time for a student organization, but I also want to point out that not every student organization is like student government, where you're spending a lot of time doing it. Most of the ones that I know of are usually like once every 2 weeks, there's an hour thing, which is pretty easy for most people to attend, in my opinion. If we open this up to students that aren't in organizations, that's one less reason to join student org. In addition, I think it would be awesome if we could fund everyone who wanted to go to a beneficial conference or whatnot. But we do have to think about the limited amount of money that we have, and then the capacity to amount of money because of this. And
We need to figure out how to get $30,000.
Yes. I think we just need to be like smart. We need to realize that we can't fund every single thing that students want to do. So personally, I believe that if you want to like travel and be involved, that every student should be in a student organization at some point, and then maybe they can travel through that because the organization then should align with their interests. But yeah, that's the I said maybe.
I just have an idea whenever I think it was you that mentioned like some sort of way of sharing. I kind of agree with everyone right now in different ways. But the idea was that we have a really cool blog that people can talk about their experience on. rather than like, going to a workshop and like coordinating schedules, but like that different voices on the block. That's all I agree.
All right, so then we're gonna do quick, Bernie, Ariana. Okay, Vanessa. I agree with, I think that while it would be a good thing to give money to everyone and just like be really inclusive and everything, it does like sort of in a sense promote that like, or tell kids like, oh, you don't have to do anything. So, I just think that also the point that you made that we are limited, we have significantly less money than them. So I understand why it would be open for them to do an individual basis, but as far as us, we would definitely be already, we get a lot of money and things like that. Okay, Ariana.
What would be, if we did this individual thing, what would be the requirements and stipulations? Like Ron was mentioning, you have to have, like, you have to have this campus. Like, for the organizations, you have to have an organization on this campus. And the region has to come with them, so what would be the requirements?
That's something we will figure out later. This is just saying where everybody's like thinking about this. We're going to do Ernie, Candace, and then Oscar, and then I'm going to finish it after Oscar.
I get up for Oscar.
Jade, okay. Candace.
I was just gonna say I agree with Martin, and you guys know Candace is always for stricter and harsher. But I agree with Martin. I feel like there should, if we do decide to offer funding to individual students, they should, one, we need to see that whatever they're going, we need verification that whatever they're going to do, wherever it is, they're actually going to be doing what they said they're doing, whether that's registration, something that says, oh yes, I'm going to this conference, like registration or something like that, with whatever information that they give you, or like if you're going like this, like basically we need some type of documentation saying that yes, I am going to do this educational thing, what I'm requesting funding to go do. And secondly, I agree, there should be something where you have to come back and provide that information to students, not even necessarily like students like a workshop, but they can even just come back to Senate or PAC or wherever they got the money from, say, hey, this is what I did with the money that you gave me, in order to kind of keep that going. And I do understand what Brian or Vanessa are saying, which is why I think that we should have very strict guidelines on that. Not everybody can just come willy-nilly and say, yeah, I want to go to Spain for the summer because I think it'd be really educational. Obviously, yes, it's going to be really educational because you don't live in Spain, but I feel like you need to like have something very specific that's beneficial to you and your college and is relevant to your major in order for you to even think about requesting funding as an individual.
Okay, so I think I have it right. Case Cousins.
I did not.
Then you, it's yours. Okay, we'll go with Ernie, Oscar.
Basically, what I wrote down to say was everything that Shannon said. Just making sure that we have verification, talking to the college dean, maybe talking to the advisor of that student, making sure that everything is educational, rather than, hey, let me just go to Spain and just eat what I can. I had a really good time and went to the summer. Yeah. So making it legitimate, we have to make sure they're verified. And then that can be amended with budget request questions and stuff like that.
Okay, so I also think like in terms of worst case scenario, we're on the track of running out of money. Like, and we need to figure out like, it's difficult to like, what's the criteria of what trip will be more beneficial to the lawyer? Because ultimately the travel expense is to benefit all of ASU and not specifically just that one student. Or at least that's something to look into about funding a specific student is will it benefit the entire community? So it would be difficult to figure out which ones to choose over other ones. But I think that's just another thing to keep in
it's really great that we had to make people go through an organization, and just something like, well, agree with what the organization is accomplishing, or even if it's something like, let's say they're trying to be a nurse and it's like a club, maybe they just don't like the leadership and how they came to a club. Right, and I don't know, like, I know you guys are concerned about the funding. I mean, we get to vote on it, so I think we can just be strict on, like, if we have organizations, we can be more strict if it's individuals coming to us. We can have much stricter criteria. You know, just think this a bit. And then I feel like if the individuals are requesting this kind of money to travel to conferences or whatever it might be, I think it's because maybe although they're not part of the organization or they have a leadership position, I think they're still leaders themselves within the classroom or around their community. That's why they're taking these opportunities. Just asking for help.
I just had a general question, I guess. How tempting proportional, like, how tempting designates an amount of money? Why couldn't we do the same thing in proportionality? Like, obviously, we're not going to designate 55 grand and Tempe does, but if it was proportional to our budget, why wouldn't we do something along the same lines to ensure that we're not overusing funds for individual travel, as opposed to using that money for events or maybe organizations?
Kind of going off of that, I think off of what everybody's saying right here is obviously there needs to be a lot stronger look at most, basically anything that goes through BAC to have the papers in order. There's really no reason to say no unless it's like blatantly not invented students. So I think there just has to be, and of course, we'll figure this out in the coming weeks, I'm sure, a lot more guidelines considering when a single student goes, because obviously, like you guys mentioned, there isn't a group of people that they come back to and immediately share their experience with. So I like the idea of actually like them talking to their dean themselves and like telling the dean like, hey, this is the student government gave me money to go on during the time I want to be our college. Just things like that, and then maybe, of course, after so many months, kind of review the rate at what we're dispersing money and the money that we have available to see if we need to maybe loosen the rules or make sure we don't get to the end of the year and we use up all the money that we allocated and have.
So you want to make it you all dug down into the weeds and make it too far. I think the biggest thing that you all think about at this moment is if that's something that you want to do. You've already mentioned before, essentially, you're putting some of your students that are senators who are representing in a position where they can't necessarily travel, even if they are registered with the arguing the thing that you're asking them to solve. The thing is that this is a problem. How do you do it? And then you work with the set group of folks that help you.
Personally, I think that if this is something we want to do, we need to make very strict like guidelines on how to do this, because I can see that people will try to use this to like they will, instead of getting a conference and then trying to get funding, they're going to be like trying to find conferences and places they want to go. And do you know what I'm saying here? I can just see that people are going to really try to abuse this system. So if we do this, we really need to set it up strict. Okay, that's it.
Less in words for a while. It's not the way she's done talking about from the trust.
And if you guys are interested in like doing that, I would step back from that to non-BAC, but for senators that are on BAC, this is something you guys want to talk about and work with Vanessa on it.
Obviously, yes, versus a class student. So I think that should probably be the primary objective is to fix that before we start thinking about maybe opening the personal funding, the personal travel funding open for our students. I think we have a pretty off track away from what the actual problem is. That there's these students that are part of organizations that, for this reason, because there's two different governments that have different bylaws, can't get the money. So I think that's first part we should be able to fix that.
Yeah, that was like, we had two different discussions on what was happening. I think the one. Okay. That concludes the funding policies discussion, so we're going to move on to the intern program. Is there a motion to discuss? Is there a second? All those in favor of discussing the intern, say aye. Any opposed? Abstention? Okay, discuss. Okay, we're gonna start with Jimmy.
Okay. So as you all know, we really work hard on making sure that USGD is open to want to get involved and really learn everything. So I immediately was open arms to all these students coming in. I was thinking, like, we really want to build on the future of this organization. What I ran into is that it is a lot of work to maintain that kind of thing. I mean, I've been assigning projects and it takes me hours to do. And so something that we had kind of discussed whether or not we want to give it to the senator or to our director of administration, Candace. I know Candace expressed a lot of passion for kind of developing something. We want to do something like what Tempe has, where we kind of give them an overview of what everything our organization does. And so I think that would be a good route to go. But of course, I'm open. I think we're all open to really do so. Get a format.
Candace?
Oh,
okay. Candace?
let him go first.
Okay. When Bryce did this last year, it was under Director of Google there.
Volunteers.
Okay, so the internship program where.
Volunteer was, like, interns are a lot, at least last year, interns were very involved with, like, day-to-day, like, coming to meetings and stuff. So the volunteer program was more for people who didn't have, like, maybe a weekly commitment that they could give to the organization, but, like, still wanted to be involved and help with things. So that was the intention. But yes, the volunteer program was started.
For now, since we are kind of recommending Candace to the job, I feel like, you know, we're not saying you are going to have it.
No, it's
But we're just saying, I'm just saying, like, maybe there could be more hands on deck in the beginning with this, because it's kind of hard to start a whole program from the ground up by yourself. So if other people can join in, if it may not be Candace, but other people join together, then something like that.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, for those of you who are new, for those of you who haven't been in all the conversations that's been going on about the internship program, just to give everybody a little bit of background, to kind of start off the beginning of the semester, it was just a little bit of a mess, it was a little bit jumbled. Jimmy had like 30,000 interns. And nobody really, like, no offense, nobody like really benefited from them or realized from it. So I brought it up that we should kind of revamp our internship program and make it so our interns aren't specifically like with one person for the entire semester, because I feel like that's extremely, I don't know, like arbitrary. Like it's just one-sided. Like you only get to experience one part of the organization when there's so many different jobs and so many different duties and so many different responsibilities, especially if you're trying to seek a position in the future with USGD. I feel like you should know what each position entails, so that way we're growing our organization and not limiting ourselves. I feel like if we're constantly retraining people over and over again, we're going to be staying in the same place. We're going to become stagnant. So what I suggested was that number one, I understand we want to have a lot of student involvement. However, since this will be the first semester of us trying out a new system for interns, we should cap that at a number. I've been working with Riley as well as Dave. We talked about capping it at 15. And what we would do is once we get our interns
we would have them pick a form of interest within the student, within our organization, and we would have them start with that one first, whatever they're interested in, and then they would kind of, in a way, matriculate through each of these different positions that we have here at USGD, so that way everybody gets a feel of it. If you guys have any projects for them to do, please give them projects. However, they will be assigned to a director or Senate as a whole, not actually one senator getting an intern. I know you guys sometimes don't have too much to do for them, so a director would get an intern and then Senate would get an intern for about maybe like a week and a half or so, and then they would rotate through that. And the following spring semester, if they're still interested in being an intern, then they would be able to pick and say, hey, well, I really like working with Senate. So then for spring, you can stay with Senate. And for example, if you really like working with the Department of Communication, you can stay with the Department of Communication through the spring. So that way, we have people ready to go into those positions next year.
So I know like we're trying to like talk about right now, from my understanding, getting rid of the kind of specialized area where you can under 1%. But I know like when people apply, they apply specifically to do like be with them. So like for example, Bryce and Riley both have contract senators and they want to focus on contract themes. I don't think making them cycle out through different parts is really, I mean, obviously they can help out with other things that interest them, but they apply specifically to be in that position and to be like with them. Also, I'm just sharing mine because she doesn't have one. So.
Something that we discussed that was an issue with our internship program, and I know that it was an internship in past governments, is that we are not delegating enough responsibility to these interns. So they join our organization, and then, you know, you have one project for them, and then they work on it, and then, you know, later on in the semester, you don't really have that much going on, so then your intern doesn't have anything going on. And so something that we discussed, which is why Candace and I were discussing this, was because we're able to cycle through and allow interns to work where there is work to do.
And something else that we also discussed is before they go to a person, we want to ensure that they have stuff for them to do for that week or 2 weeks that they're with them, to ensure that they're actually completing something rather than just floating around and, you know, not getting benefits out of the organization, and we're not getting benefited from having it. Okay, all right. So we're going to do.
It's me. Okay, so I don't know if I don't know how the interns thing works or anything, but I agree with Mary Ann, because if, like, just hypothetically speaking, if I wanted an intern for communications to run like hardware, like it's easier to go to the same person every time than have to like cycle through interns because they're trying to like rotate around. And I think it would also be easier for the intern, like say they were a concrete student who's majoring in like journalism and focusing on like the social media aspect, then we could give them like that experience, you know, and it would be kind of inconvenient for them to like start with me and then cycle through to someone else who's like it's something they're not really interested in. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm going to respond to that really fast. So, what I was talking about with Candace a little bit earlier was having 3 areas that they'd be interested in. So, say with a concrete student, they could do grad student staff. Okay. That way they're working with 3 people because it allows them to have more work.
Okay, so they still have to like explore options, but all in the same kind of focus area.
Right. So,
Okay,
that's
that's
what it is. And policy, like Jimmy, Brian, and one of the policy.
So in response to the concerns about the interns applying for like a specific position, and secondly, a department in need of a particular intern more over the other. So just a general question, because this is just how I'm looking at it, and just a general question. So when we're trying to, one, number one, grow our organization as well as like, I guess, knowledge-based or like, I don't know, basically grow our organization where everyone has like knowledge. What's your idea of a way that we should do that without having to go to every position? Because I'm thinking it as like this. So for example, I came in and I was an intern. I came in as an intern and I said, I'm really interested in being, with the director of administration. And I get to sit here with the director of administration. I'm like, this is boring. I don't want to do this. So then what do? You sit there with the director of administration for the rest of the semester, and you don't like it. Like, it is a work in progress program. Like, we're not saying that anything is set in stone, but the general idea is that the interns get to learn about every single position within USGD. So that way, when they're applying for a position here at USGD, they know what they're doing. And we don't have to sit there and retrain everybody, and it takes more time away from us. I feel like that takes away from productivity, and we don't get as much done because we're sitting here trying to explain and re-explain every single year, because we don't have people who have done the job or at least have a little bit of experience in the job that they're applying for. I feel like that just sets us back and that just keeps us from moving forward. So I'm not saying that every intern has to sit there and like just sit through say with the director that they don't want to be. Yes, our interns are going to have some input, and they're going to have, we're going to, expect them to give us feedback. However, just like Ron said, we don't want to give them too many options, because then it's chaos and it's everywhere. And no offense, it's kind of how it is now, because honestly, it's a little bit of a mess. Like, nobody knows who the interns are. The interns are at the meetings. Like, I don't see any interns here at the Senate meeting. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's really no structure for it. Everyone's just kind of, I got an intern, or I got an intern. Nobody knows. I met the Cronkite intern just on Wednesday, and I had no idea that there was a Cronkite intern. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like there's no real. I don't know. Right? Did you hire an intern?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Did you get the email?
yeah, I did. But what I'm saying is, there's like no real like structure to it at all. You know what I mean? And I'm not like trying to pick on you and say that you should have did that. I was online, because it wasn't, because you totally have like the right to do that. I'm just saying that as of how it is right now, it's really difficult to kind of figure out who we have and what they're able to do, because nobody's really sat down with any of it. Like, I still don't know the 5 interns that Jimmy has hired. I have no idea who any of it is. And not saying that like it's just specifically for me. I'm pretty sure Jay doesn't know. I'm pretty sure Riley doesn't know. Ms. Jackson knows. Like, nobody, the senators know. Like, nobody knows. And that's my point. It's very unorganized and it's very unstructured. And you can't really do anything in chaos. That's just my.
So we're gonna go Ryan, Russ.
Okay, I think I can have a happy medium here. Personally, I think hiring Cronkite Senators was a mistake. I'm sure you guys have a lot to do, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The interns, excuse me. I know you guys have a lot to do, but 2 interns for your college makes people accessible the same way 5 or multiple departments makes people accessible. I also think that the rotating might not work too well. If I put myself in the shoes of an intern, I would not be interested in the communications department. That's just not my, no offense to you guys, that's just not my forte. The happy medium that I would suggest, of course, we'll figure this out later, would be that the pool of interns, instead of rotating, would be offer, say, a communications team, 2 interns to work on something. We say to the pool, who wants to do this? People who want to do it, get to do it right away. They're interested in that, right? And then we just have assignments based on what they want to do, and then they have to rotate around and say, okay, I want to try this, I want to try this. I definitely don't want to do this, so I'll let other people do that, if that makes sense. Of course, if there's something that nobody wants to do, then we'll have to just assign a happy medium. I would try to go with,
I have a personal oversight.
that's what I was trying to like get a happy medium, because obviously we have the people who, are, saying that we should have like, people want to do this, and people who are trumpet interns want to be trumpet interns. That's a good thing, but we should like give them an option to look around as much as they can for this first semester, and then maybe second semester start like putting them on, okay, which one did you enjoy the most, which one do you want to be doing, second semester actually put them into a permanent basis with the department or a college.
Okay, so first thing that I just want to say, in case there's any like confusion about like having two Cronkite interns. I mean, Riley's the president, so she's focusing a lot on the Senate side of things. I'm focusing a lot on the Cronkite side of things. Like we're both working on a lot of other things, not just Cronkite. And both of the two interns are freshmen. They wanted to get involved, and so I think there was somebody mentioned if somebody wants to be involved in the organization, we're not going to tell them no. And when they were hired, we told them that, yeah, we don't have a lot going on right now. This is going on, this is going on, this is going on, and you need to reach out to these people and find out what you can do to help them. So they've been given things to do. I know that you met Morgan at the event on Wednesday, and they're both coming to our meeting on Sunday with the student owners. So just to clarify that. Also, I'm not done. I move that we table this to caucus.
Okay, well, we're gonna do Ariana and Emma, because they have not spoken.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there a second? What's there a second?
The one that well, there is not.
Alright, so all those in favor of tabling the caucus, say aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
Okay. This is not speaking. Okay, so Ariana.
First of all, I want to say that I want to get involved with this. So,
Like, I don't know.
I was just gonna say, if you are taking the lead on this, I want to talk to you. I'm interested in getting involved. Second of all, last year I was an intern for a year. So, from my perspective, I mean, everyone has really good points, but from my perspective as being an intern, sorry, what was it? I wanted to know more about everyone else, so I was, my supervisor was Kat, and like, I was like, well, who's manager, and that was all I knew. And I would show up to city meetings, and I kind of had to learn on my own what everyone's positions were. So, like, I had no idea, like, what city I was doing, because that's so far away from me. So, I think as an intern, like, I would have been interested in getting more involved in policy, or knowing what hospice is doing, or anything, you know. I just wanted to know more about our solution. So, yeah, from an intern perspective, I think it would be nice to get someone in the position.
Okay, so now we're gonna do Emma. Okay, so I was just thinking, is it possible for us to have like two different types of interns, like have some that are floaters, for lack of a better word, that can kind of experience everything, and then some that, like, for me, like when I talked to Jackson about the position, it was in like, oh, well, what's policy doing? What's this doing? Like, because that just doesn't interest me, and like communications is my thing, like. So I knew that like this is what I wanted to do. So if there was like an intern or something who knows what they want to do, then they can work with someone specially. But if they just want to get involved any way they can, then they can be, for lack of a better word, like a floater intern that kind of experiences everything and they can specialize in the spring.
Okay, thank you. I'm actually going to conclude this, but if you want to, we're going to do it. Okay, well, if you're interested in this, then just, we can all move on. All right, so we're going to move on to final statements. Anybody have any final statements?
this, I forgot to, earlier in my report. I guess this should specifically apply to anyone who has to post agendas. I'm gonna be like setting some more specific guidelines, deadlines, because there's been an issue where agendas haven't been getting posted, and I don't want any of us to like get in trouble with that. So I'm just gonna make sure that we don't have specific deadlines.
Those have been website issues.
Just website issues?
Yeah, they were too
They were
big
both
on it.
website issues.
Okay. Well then,
Yeah.
then we're good.
Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I move to-
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning the meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Meeting is adjourned.
7-0, run!
Hi, friends.
Run!
Actually, go loud, we'll go faster.
Someone stop the recording.
It's really fast.
Yes,